Good evening, everybody. First, I want to thank Council President for recognizing that it is Holocaust Remembrance Day today. And for the moment of silence that you gave in recognition of that, if we were to take a moment of silence for the over 6 million Jews that were killed in the Holocaust, we wouldn't be able to start my speech for another 11 and a half years. So let's put that in perspective. But we're here today to talk about the township. If you were to actually ask ChatGPT what the role of municipal government was, you would get the following response. The core role of municipal government is to provide services and promote the well-being of its residents. Not bad. Except that AI is only capable of looking at the present and at the past. It has no capacity for vision, innovation, creativity, tools that one would need to provide direction for our future. Leaders in a community must have vision in order to guide a community forward responsibly. JFK actually once said that change is the law of life, and those that only look to the past and the present are certain to miss the future. As I said earlier and many times, there is a buzz going around the state about East Brunswick and how we are looking forward and responding to the needs of a 21st century economy and lifestyle. Our redevelopment projects have helped to reinvigorate a commercial corridor that once lay barren, blighted, and neglected. In the year ahead, expect the opening of Vermella, the expansion of Legacy Place, the opening of our municipal ice rinks and a fully lit cricket field, the opening of scores of exciting new businesses, restaurants, and services, both on and off the Route 18 corridor. Eyes are also focused on redevelopment plans for Edgeboro Road and the Brunswick Square Mall, areas that have remained relatively untouched for half a century. Regarding the core services and the promotion of well-being, well, we are blessed with a professional staff that takes their jobs very seriously. Several of them are here this evening. I'd like to point out our business administrator, Joe Criscuolo, our assistant, Tracy Ranzio, Jennifer Stetson, Tamar Lawful, that work with me in administration. But as a township, we've adopted a customer-centric philosophy. Our staff is laser-focused on making East Brunswick the best place to live, raise a family, and operate a business. So let's take our tour of the township's accomplishments in 2024 and the goals for 2025. In the area of finance and under the leadership of Angel Albanese, I'm happy to report that the township still holds a AA+ rating from Moody's. This is due to our low debt ratio, 99% collection ratio, healthy fund balance, and financially sound redevelopment plans. This rating has allowed the township to finance at an extremely low cost. Currently, the township can secure bonds and notes at interest rates in the mid to low 3% range. Previous financing of our older notes are locked in at interest rates that range from 1.16 to 1.86%. Currently, our total municipal debt stands at $85.5 million, but this is exclusive of $23.1 million in Board of Ed debt and $6.2 million in Fire District debt that we hold for them, as they would never have been able to borrow at our low interest rates. This continues to save taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars every year. And while the $85.5 million is a number that must be reported to the state and our rating agencies, to derive the actual debt, you must deduct $40.3 million in approved but not issued bonds for the ice rinks and $6.8 million in approved but not issued debt for our road improvements in 2025. This will give the township an actual current debt of $38.4 million, but even at the $85.5 million that we must report to the state, it puts us at a 0.907 net debt as a percentage of equalized value, one of the lowest in the state. Over the past year, the department has adopted ACH payments for taxes, water, and sewer. They've started the program Set It and Forget It, which allows residents to set auto payments each quarter, and it's been widely accepted even among seniors. The department's received over $4.4 million in grants last year, and in the 8 years as your mayor, the township has surpassed $28 million in grants, money that would otherwise have come out of property taxes. Our tax assessor, Frank Colon, reports that in 2024, we added 249 assessments, which account for $15 million in new ratables. There were 857 new deeds and 53 tax appeals to either the county or the state. But the data to arrive at these assessments are 40 years old, but more about that later. Regarding economic development, our economic development officer, Robert Zuckerman, has been everywhere in the township. With his assistance, the East Brunswick has ushered in almost 90 new businesses or business expansions this past year. These cover a wide range of sectors, all pointing to the strength of our appeal to the business community. So here we go, in no order, and I'm sorry if I missed somebody. The Asian Market, Umi, Clove Garden, several bubble tea restaurants or locations, Duck Donuts, Cozy Cup Coffee, Palmera's, finally, toy and collectible card shops and stores, the redesign of Dick's, which now includes an entire section for ice hockey, tech companies such as HCL Tech and Helix Wireless, Robert Wood Johnson Children's Hospital outpatient facility at the old Kmart building, Floor and Decor, children's entertainment and daycare centers, and much more. As for 2025, expect Kava, a swim school, and Rita's Ices at the Mid-State Mall, Chick-fil-A, retail at Legacy Place, which will include a pizza shop, coffee shop, nail salon, and others. And the Brunswick Square Mall is also planning some very exciting changes that will be sure to meet the needs that East Brunswick residents have been requesting for years. Our East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce has continued to flourish. There were 70 new companies that came in this past year, bringing them up to over 315 members. Our film task force, you could clap for that. Our film task force is waiting for the township to be officially designated as film ready. This opens the township to the possibility of hosting film and media sets or shoots that would be a boom to our area businesses. Our sister city in Yavne, Israel, engaged in a joint program with East Brunswick High School students and Yavne High School students to discuss similarities and differences between life in each country. We are looking to use this as a starting point to have joint projects that are centered on areas such as redevelopment, community planning, AI, technology, and other areas that are relevant to youth regardless of their country of origin. We look forward to exploring areas such as business and community engagement with township officials and our businesses. In the area of public safety, most folks place a high priority on safety and security. They should. Under the leadership of Chief Frank Lasacco, you could be assured that East Brunswick remains one of the safest towns in the state. The police department is divided into 3 divisions. There's operations, which is the largest and is comprised of the patrol section and traffic safety. There's the investigative division, which includes the detective bureau, the juvenile bureau, school resource officer, evidence, custodians, and the community response unit. And finally, there's the administration division, which oversees body-worn cameras, internal affairs, records, IT, the police training facility, and community policing. Notable achievements and plans going forward include the fact that the department logged in over 75,000 calls this past year. Think about that. That is over 200 calls per day. We adopted and have started to use and increase our use of technology, including our drone program. And no, we were not to blame for the recent drone attacks that occurred all over New Jersey. We adopted the Blue Care program designed to allow police to work with the courts and attorneys for those involved in drug addiction. Credit is given for counseling and it's used towards reduction in charges. We hired 3 new police officers. One is already working. The other 2 are in Cape May training and completing their 6-month training. We increased participation and programs that provided to the township through our community policing unit. This includes 3rd grade tours, the Junior Police Academy, Neighborhood Watch programs, Citizens Police Academy, active shooter training, which we now included our area businesses such as the Brunswick Square Mall, in addition to the work that they do regularly with our public schools and houses of worship. They participated and began participating in the Arrive Together program, which pairs East Brunswick trained officers in crisis intervention with mental health screening specialists to respond to calls where an individual is experiencing a mental health crisis. The unit also partnered with the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office to be part of their special needs registry. This allows families to register loved ones with special needs so that police can be aware of such individuals when responding to calls or encounters. A big shout out to John Cossack for his over 40 years in the township, coordinating the Office of Emergency Management. He oversees emergency management for almost all township large events, works directly with security in our public schools, houses of worship, businesses, and community organizations. He is the person I rely on most to be certain that I am never that mayor that has to answer a reporter by saying that I never thought that it could happen here. For Parks and Recreation, under the direction of Michael Reisner, they had a banner year. And this is not possible without the help of a very devoted and talented staff, several of whom were recognized this past year by professional organizations in the recreation industry. Notably, John Roche received the Water Park Association Safety Award and was recognized and awarded by the New Jersey Recreation and Parks Association as the Professional of the Year. Ashley Falcoon, also recognized and awarded by the New Jersey Recreation and Park Association as being one of the top 30 professionals under the age of 30. Marissa Costco was recognized by the Parks and Recreation Association, got an award for Social Media Campaign of the Year for our Winter Wonderland program this past holiday season. Let's see, who else? Caitlin Kehoe got her certification as a National Inclusion Project Specialist, and Ryan Murphy got his certification by the National Association of Youth Sports as a Youth Sports Administrator. So please give these professionals a round of applause because you're only as good. We have high standards here and they have never let us down. As far as achievements, working in conjunction with engineering, the East Brunswick Ice Arena design, bids, awarding of contracts, and construction all began in 2024. Project is actually ahead of schedule and under budget. How often do you hear that? And we could say that if we stay on schedule, we expect the opening for the rinks to be this October. Additionally, we added a solar roof to the project, which will significantly reduce our energy costs and is consistent with the township's long-time commitment to sustainability. We received a $750,000 Green Acres grant for an inclusive playground at Lenape Park. That work will begin this spring. We saw the establishment of the East Brunswick Symphony Orchestra, the only municipal orchestra in the state. Department also assisted VFW Post 33 in hosting the Vietnam Traveling Wall this past summer. They designed and constructed the first fully lit cricket field in the state. Expect that also to open in the spring. They repaired Washington Heights Playground, paid for by a New Jersey Department of Community Affairs grant. The department planted 106 tree and park trees throughout the township. Bicentennial Park tennis courts were resurfaced. They launched the East Brunswick Parks and Recreation app, making it easier for individuals and families to register for any program offered by the department. Crystal Springs hosted its 30th anniversary this past year and brought in $1.3 million in revenue. And then East Brunswick Day camps were also very popular, bringing in $1.7 million in revenue and due in part to a 5% increase in enrollment, all while our youth council logged in over 8,800 community service hours. As for programs, East Brunswick Day, Winter Wonderland, Mr. Ray's Concert, Fishing Derby, National Hot Dog Day, Beauty and the Beats Children's Concert, Family Music Night, and so many others, and include supporting outside events such as Diwali, Holi, the East Brunswick Bear Crawl, Harvest Fest, and many more. Over the year, the department was involved in 40 special events and over 350 recreational programs. My list was just the tip of the iceberg. In total, the department revenue last year was just under $3 million, up $300,000 from the year before, and we have a very robust schedule for 2025. So get your app. As for planning and engineering, just look at the volume of construction projects that are going on around the township. Under the leadership of Keith Kitt, the department has embarked on more projects than most residents can probably ever remember. Besides providing oversight and permitting for these large-scale projects, the staff must be available also for residential projects, small business projects, school projects, which frequently need to be done in the summer when students are not in school. Staff are also present for all applications before and during planning and zoning board meetings that are needed to approve those projects. Over the past year, the department managed and oversaw the repaving of 5.4 miles of roads, the New Brunswick Avenue project that was paid for through the New Jersey Department of Transportation Trust Fund grant, repaving of the portion or that segment of Tice's Lane that was ignored by Hidden Oaks, the developer who's actually responsible for that portion. They paved and put in 3.2 miles of new township bike lanes. There were new traffic lights at the intersection of Fern and Cranberry, Hardenberg and Fresh Ponds, and Hardenberg and Riva. The department, working in conjunction with Parks and Rec, helped to design, develop the bid specs, award, and oversee the East Brunswick Municipal Ice Rinks and Cricket Field. They also worked with the DPW department and the New Jersey DOT on several long overdue water main projects, which includes the work on Route 18, Westwood Road, Bennington Court, and Troy Court. And last year, the department collected $2.7 million in permit fees and issued 2,615 certificates of occupancy. In 2025, expect more repair work and road work that's going to be done. We've set aside about $3 million towards these needed repairs. We've also been informed that the township was awarded another DOT Transportation Trust Fund grant for $369,000 to repair and repave Village Drive. Despite the small staff, I continue to hear praise from residents, business owners, and developers regarding the professionalism, knowledge, and timeliness of our team in the planning and engineering department. And believe me, that is not always the case throughout the state. So kudos to that department. For Public Works and the Water and Sewer Utility, Dan Losick does double duty by providing directorship over both DPW and the Water and Sewer Utility. And most of us tend to forget how important these services are until we have to do without them. Whether it's road repair, stormwater drains, water and sewer service, leaves, which is clearly a matter of life and death if you base that on the number of social media posts, second only to garbage. This is what we mean by basic services. Most notably over the past year was the implementation of the new refuse and recycling contract. And despite all the fear and anxiety, we have a much smoother operation with very few missed pickups and a cleaner community. Bulk pickup has kept up with demand, just simply requires scheduling. The recycling center is constantly busy and a huge asset to our residents. Leaves, both loose and bagged, despite all the howling, were picked up without much of a hiccup. Many of our residents told us how excited their younger children were just watching the new automated trucks. The department continues to maintain our fleet of vehicles, maintains and renovates our township buildings, installed 1,400 tons of asphalt for road repairs, crack sealed 14 miles of roads, and done so in conjunction with our other departments. Besides maintaining miles of water lines, the water utility also fixed 44 water main breaks in 2024, replaced lead service lines, and the utility worked with the state to complete the New Jersey DOT Route 18 water main replacement project, which is only part of the Route 18 repair project that's being done. The sewer utility cleaned 44 miles of sewer mains and maintains a system that is quite old and is in need of inspection and repair and sometimes even replacement. Part of that oversight included the installation of a emission monitoring system for all sewer pump stations. And finally, the department worked with planning and engineering to design renovations to the Kingswood pump station, which will enable conversion of the septic system at the Community Arts Center to city sewer. Department of Aging. Well, Danielle McCallie, the director of the department, and her staff have seen the senior center become one of the most active in the state. Last year, the average daily census rose to 135 members being in the center per day. There were 317 new members, resulting in a census that is the highest in the center's history. There were 9,000 bus rides for shopping and banking and pharmacy, and lunch and other fun activities. The department provided 9,693 home-delivered meals to homebound older adults. There were over 1,100 participants in support groups, and the staff provided 355 shipper Medicare counseling sessions and over 1,200 rides for medical appointments. That's pretty impressive. Our seniors participated in many programs. They clocked in 890 members per month for programs that range from educational to the arts to fitness and more. And the Senior Center will be celebrating its 50th anniversary this May, so look out for some very exciting programming around that milestone. Our East Brunswick Public Library. Well, this past year, the library welcomed a new library director in Karen Parry. But the truth is, Karen is not new at all, and she's been a decades-long member of our senior staff and the architect of our highly acclaimed Just for the Health of It literacy program. In 2024, the public library was used by nearly 1.2 million residents, accessing anything from books to magazines, databases, ebooks, audiobooks, streaming services, DVDs, games, the health portal, equipment, and many other services. The library held over 350 programs for children, teens, adults, and seniors. One of the core goals of the library board this past year was to put accessibility and inclusivity at the heart of everything that they do. To that end, the library created and filled a position called an accessibility librarian to develop specialized programs and services to address the needs of vulnerable populations. The library can now say that it offers sensory-friendly browsing for children with autism, sensory bags to borrow from the library, dyslexic-friendly font reading lists, barred talking books for those who are visually impaired, color-corrective glasses for those with color blindness, and many other initiatives consistent with the Township's decades-long commitment to support those in the neurodivergent community. Clearly, the East Brunswick Public Library's commitment to excellence has been recognized outside of East Brunswick, as our library was selected this past year as one of 15 national finalists for the 2024 National Medal for Museum and Library Service. This nomination, which was made by Senator Cory Booker, was in recognition of our Just for the Health of It program. And while we did not get selected as the final recipient, this level of national recognition has only served to make us work even harder as a community. EBTV was under the leadership of Anthony Pagliocco and his favorite partner and constant partner Brian Belzer. East Brunswick TV has become the Township's marketing firm. You didn't get the reference? Okay. Together with their team, the studio produced over 300 videos this past year. They cover everything from council meetings to high school sporting events to community events and celebrations. Their videos have garnered over 330,000 views for over 12,000 hours of viewing time. Social media has become the most convenient way to reach outside of the 23 square miles of East Brunswick. EBTV relied on this media. They had 344,000 views on Facebook and 45,000 views on its Instagram pages. For 2025, it's shaping up to be a great year as we're looking for more innovative ways of promoting the township to an even wider audience. IT. Now, I know that people sometimes say that when I start talking in medical terms, that they think that I'm speaking another language. It's probably true. When I got the list of the accomplishments of our IT department under the leadership of Adele Youssef, I could now understand what everybody was saying about me, because I didn't understand a blessed thing that was on that list. But this critical department is the connective tissue that allows all our departments to operate in a safe, efficient, and secure manner. Over the past year, much of our work continues to be focused on securing our information, data, personal information, and system integrity. Additionally, the department has helped with outfitting and renovating buildings and rooms that were upgraded. They upgraded to Windows 11, increased card access at most of our buildings, upgraded the pump station IT footprints, and redesigned Civic Plus East Brunswick website. Now, as I said in my acceptance speech after being sworn in for my third term as mayor, we have so much to look forward to in the year ahead. And while most of this is exciting and has drawn attention throughout the state, we do need to be aware of some objects that could pose some headwind. Namely, the township has been notified officially by the state and the county that we are long overdue for a revaluation. This has not been done in over 40 years. With present assessed values at approximately 20% of true value, we will need to start this process. Now, there is no need to panic, as there are only 2 firms in the state that do revaluations, and the time frame for one to provide an estimate, be accepted by resolution, start the reevaluations, do the whole reevaluation process, and then submit their findings for inclusion in your assessment could still take several years. But the clock has started. The 4th round of affordable housing obligations for the years 2025 to 2035 were provided to all townships at the end of last year. The fair share obligation given to East Brunswick for this period is 314 units, no different than the last 10-year period. And while the township has filed an objection to the methodology used to determine this number, it is unlikely that such an objection will result in anything other than a possible reduction from that number. It will not go down to 0. And finally, much has been said about the relationship between the Board of Education and the township. I am keenly aware that the reputation of East Brunswick and the main reason that folks move to this township is the quality of our public education. The council and I want nothing more than to see that reputation grow, and we want to be a partner in anything that improves the rich experience of our students and the experience that they receive in our public schools. To achieve these results, it is imperative that we all operate from the same set of facts, that relevant information be made open and available to the public, that the Board of Education ask, demand, and make public answers to questions that can help the district move forward, and most importantly, hold the administration to the highest standards. This means determining goals and objectives that target the highest standards, insist on fiscal responsibility, and foster a spirit of cooperation. The township stands ready to assist the board in meeting those obligations. As I take the plane back up to 40,000 feet and look at the township from the vantage point of knowing where we've been and knowing where we are and having a good sense of where we're headed, I'm happy to say that the state of the township is strong, resilient, and focused. We are simultaneously diverse and unified. We are a big township, yet a collection of multiple small communities, each with its own character and charm. And finally, we are a collective body that's appreciative of the past, yet excited for what the future holds. So Happy New Year. May each of you have a year that brings peace, health, and good fortune. God bless our residents. To all those who serve our township, our men and women in the armed forces, and the United States of America. Thank you.